Hello and welcome to Tub Trivia, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us on your Friday evening. We're very glad to have you in our bubbling trivia oasis, aka my bathtub. Let's start off with your first question for a quick bonus point. Which ancient Greek mathematician and inventor reportedly discovered an important principle of physics while taking a bath, leading to his running through the streets naked shouting, "Eureka"? Tell me the name of that ancient Greek mathematician, and you can get yourself a bonus point. Type it in the chat if you want that point, because I'm about to tell you that sweet, sweet answer. Here we go. His name was Archimedes. Yeah, that's Archimedes. He discovered Archimedes' principle, obviously, right? It's basically uses water displacement to measure the volume of an object with a weird shape. Pretty cool, right? Bath-related trivia. How fun. We got Anne McHenry coming in with the quick wits and quick internet connection. Congratulations, Anne McHenry. If you can't make it to tub trivia, well, I guess the next best thing is tub trivia. Did I say that right? Pub trivia? Did the joke work? Don't worry about it. How this works, if this is your first time playing is with us, is I'm going to ask you all questions over 4 different categories. Whenever I ask a question, type your answer into the chat as quickly as you can if you want your score to be officially recognized by the Tub Trivia Board. If you want to just whisper the answers to yourself at your own pace, that's totally fine. This is just for fun and the points are very hypothetical. Unless you're Penguin Esperanza, who was our champion last game, in which case those points are very real. Congrats, Penguin. Great name. Everybody else, get your typing fingers ready, because round 1 is about to begin. Round 1 is an animal round. Yeah, that's right. We did one of these before. It was a big hit. We're bringing it back. For this round, you have to tell me, what kind of animal am I? All right, you have to identify a famous animal. I'll give you the name. You tell me what kind of animal it was. Some of the animals will be real animals from real life. Others will be fictional from like a book or a movie, maybe. You just have to tell me what kind of animal it is. If I say Nemo, you say clownfish. Make sense? You're also going to get a small clue for each one to put you in the right ballpark. Let's see how well you know your famous animals. Here we go. Animal number 1. Snowball. Okay, Snowball, maybe sounds familiar. Here's your hint. This is the one we're looking for. Snowball, the George Orwell character. What kind of animal was Snowball? Type your answers into the chat. Tick tock, tick tock. Did you know? Snowball. It's a pig. Yeah, Snowball is a pig from Animal Farm, right? George Orwell's Animal Farm. We all read that in like 9th grade, probably. It's said to be based on Leon Trotsky, Snowball, and it's the pig who like challenges Napoleon for control of the farm. There's also a dog named Snowball in Rick and Morty, and if you said that, congrats on being up to date with modern pop culture for adults. But that Snowball is not a George Orwell character, so you're not getting a point for that. Animal number 2, Laika. Laika is what animal? Here's a clue. Laika was born in what is now Russia in 1954. What kind of animal is Laika? Get your answers in. Did you know that Laika is a dog? Yeah, Laika was the first dog to orbit the Earth, and it did so in 1957. Also, fun fact, Laika was a stray dog found wandering the streets of Moscow, and the scientists chose Laika because it was thought that strays were used to enduring conditions of extreme cold and hunger. Kind of messed up, but, now Laika is an international celebrity, so, you win some, you lose some. Animal number 3, Richard Parker. Sounds like a dentist, but it's an animal, I promise you. Here's your clue. Richard Parker is a character that floated into our lives in 2001. Okay? What kind of animal was Richard Parker? Maybe a pediatrician? A dentist? Maybe he just owns a grocery store? Who is Richard Parker? Did you know that Richard Parker is a Bengal tiger? We'll also just accept tiger. Okay, we're not getting too, sticky around here. Richard Parker is the tiger from Life of Pi. Yeah, in the book, he's supposed to be named Thirsty, but due to a clerical error on his official papers, he was accidentally named Richard Parker, the name of his hunter. There you go. Animal number 4 is Dolly. Sounds pretty cute. Dolly, right? The clue is Dolly was the controversial subject of headlines in 1996. Okay. I feel like a lot of us were probably alive for that. Who was Dolly? What kind of animal was Dolly? Get your answers in before we head into our final animal of the night. Did you know that Dolly is a sheep? Yeah, that's right. If it sounds familiar, Dolly is the sheep that was the first mammal cloned. Yeah, this was the cloned sheep. It was cloned from an adult somatic cell using the process of nuclear transfer. Bunch of science words there. And then she unfortunately died on Valentine's Day 2003. Rest in peace, Dolly. Thank you for your contributions to science. Your final animal of the night is Rikki Tikki Tavi. Just an amazing combination of sounds to come out of your mouth. It feels so good. Everybody say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Rikki Tikki Tavi. I hope that the whole world just shook with the sounds of our Rikki Tikki Taviing. Here's your clue. It's a Rudyard Kipling character. That's what we're looking for. Rikki Tikki Tavi, the Rudyard Kipling character. Can you tell me what kind of animal it was? RTT, Rikki Tikki Tavi. Okay, type in your answers and then start to tally up, because we are officially done with round number 1 when I reveal that Rikki Tikki Tavi is a mongoose. Yeah, that's right. If you knew Rudyard Kipling, you'd know that that's the author of The Jungle Book. Rikki Tikki Tavi has their own story within The Jungle Book. It's actually, I don't know if you guys have read it. It's very terribly violent. It's about like a mongoose and a group of snakes battling over a garden. A lot of people die. It's brutal. But Rikki Tikki Tavi is a very cute mongoose. How'd everybody do? Did anybody get 5 out of 5? Anybody a big animal lover? Has anybody got 6 points? I'm looking at you, Anne McHenry. Okay, we got Bubble Double Trouble. First of all, fantastic name. But they're claiming to have a full 6 points. Points? Full 6 points. I believe you. Congratulations. That's great. How'd everybody else do? Okay, any perfect scores besides double trouble? Love it. We're a big fan of animal rounds here at Mental Floss, because I'm pretty sure among the Mental Floss staff, there are more pets than there are humans. I think they outnumber us 2 to 1, maybe. So we're big fans of anything animal. We're moving to round number 2, which is our this or that round. You know, in the past we've done some quotes, which have been very fun. Now we're doing What Am I? An indie band or a poisonous plant? I'm going to give you the name. You tell me if the thing I'm describing is an indie band or a poisonous plant that will probably kill you if you eat it. It's as simple as that. All you got to do is type in band or plant. And this is also a blitz round, which means there's going to be 10 questions, rapid fire. As soon as you hear the question, type in your answer, because I'm not waiting for anybody, okay? Unless Keanu Reeves is in the chat, in which case you can have all the time you want, buddy. Just let us know. Hit up my producers. I'll be here for 4 hours if you want. I love you. Here we go. Your first band/plant is Cows and Bulls. Cows and Bulls. Okay. Tell me, is that a plant? Or is that an indie band? Answer number 1. That is a poisonous plant. Yeah, Cows and Bulls is one of the common names given to a species of poisonous plant found in Europe. And other common names for cows and bulls include bobbins, naked girls, naked boys, confusing, cheese and toast, and Sanzi, give us your hand. Just one word, bunch of hyphens in between all of those. Those are all real. Those are all real names for plants. Botanists. Flower guys are weird. Number 2, foxglove. Is foxglove a plant or an indie band? All the ones that are plants, I would love to listen to their songs because they sound great. Cows and Bulls is a great name. Foxglove, get your answers in quick. Did you know that is also a poisonous plant? Yeah, this is a beautiful, colorful plant of the genus Digitalis, and it's deceptively dangerous, containing poisons that affect the heart. Oh boy, sounds like my ex-girlfriend, am I right? Bada zing! No, ignore that. Number 3, Dandy Warhols. Is a Dandy Warhol a plant or an indie band? You tell me. Plant or indie band? Type it in. Did you know? It's an indie band. Yeah, right? It's an indie band with a lead singer by the name of Courtney Taylor Taylor. Double Taylor. Double the Taylor, double the power. That's what my dad always said. Number 4, Lily of the Valley. Is that a poisonous plant? Or is that like a nice, soft, kind of melancholic indie band? You tell me. Lily of the Valley. The answer is, it's another poisonous plant. Come on, guys. These are all, the plants, they're deadly and they're everywhere. This is a highly poisonous woodland flowering plant, which was featured in Kate Middleton's bridal bouquet. Interesting. And it was also used in an episode of Breaking Bad. Very cool. Not cool, actually. I'm pretty sure he poisoned a child that episode. Poisoning kids, not cool. I'm taking a stance right now. Number 5, Broken Bells. Poisonous plant, indie band. You tell me. Broken Bells. That's an indie band. Yeah, that's right. It's an indie band consisting of singer James Mercer, who's the frontman for the Shins, if you're unfamiliar, and Brian Burton, who's better known as DJ Danger Mouse. It's cool. It's like a hip-hop indie hybrid. I'm actually a fan of Broken Bells. Some of these other indie bands, I could take them and leave them. Number 6, Bleeding Heart. Indie band, poisonous plant. Just gotta go with your gut on a lot of these. Does it sound like it would kill you if you ate it? Probably a poisonous plant. Although I wouldn't recommend eating an indie band either. It'll make you real sad and whimsical and artsy. All right, that is another poisonous plant. How many are there? It's a species of flowering plant in the poppy family. It's not terribly deadly, but it does contain isoquinoline alkaloids, which can cause seizures and damage to the liver at high enough doses. Oh boy, sounds like my ex-girlfriend, am I right? Joke doesn't work the second time around either. All right, question number 7. Devil's Berries. Is that an indie band? Or is that a poisonous plant? You tell me. Type in your answers. Real quick like. Because here it comes. Devil's Berries is also a poisonous plant. Yeah, it's a perennial herbaceous plant in the nightshade family. Extremely toxic when ingested and can cause delirium and hallucination. It makes sense it's called devil's berries because I feel like people back in the day, I don't know when I'm referring to, just, back in the day, anything that was like vaguely naughty or sinister, they just called it the devil's blank. Like, the devil's bathtub because I slipped in it one time. So devil's berries, they make you see, spooky colors. Devil's berries. There you have it. Number 8, Wild Nothing. Wild Nothing. What is that? Is that an indie band? Or is that a poisonous plant? Here's a fun fact for you that won't help you anywhere in life. You guys remember PhotoBucket? That weird photo hosting website for MySpace 15 years ago? My login name for PhotoBucket was Super Nothing, which I think was actually a reference to a ska band. Just a horrible, horrible place in culture. All right, Wild Nothing is an indie band. Yeah, that's an indie band from Virginia, and it is not obviously a poisonous plant, but I looked through their entire discography and found a song called Blue Wings, which is another name for the wishbone flower. So they're not totally unrelated to plants. Number 9, Wye Oak. Is Wye Oak a poisonous plant or an indie band? Type your answers in before we move on to the final question of round number 2. Did you know that Wye Oak is an indie band? Yeah, it's an indie band from Baltimore who Pitchfork described as earnest, folk-influenced indie rock with touches of noise and dream pop. Oh yes, my favorite genre. I'm just always bopping around, switched over to my favorite playlist that's labeled earnest, folk-influenced indie rock with touches of noise and dream pop, and I am set, ready to go. Here we go, your final question in the this or that round. Angel's Trumpets is an indie band or a poisonous plant? You tell me. Angel's Trumpets. These are all such good names. I love them. I love all of these. I think all of the bands should be plants and all the plants should be bands. I say we just mix and match. Final answer. That's a poisonous plant. Yeah, that's the common name of Brugmansia, which produce large, fragrant flowers, and eating the seeds or leaves can lead to paralysis, constipation, and death. Moving on. Sound the broken bells and play the Angel's Trumpets, because that is the end of round number 2. If you're a big indie music person, you probably could have done pretty well in that round just through like process of elimination, right? Although I guess the same can be said the other way around if you're really into poisonous plants. But I don't know many people who are into that. I guess Poison Ivy in Batman, she was all about him. We should bring that character back to the big screen. Yeah? Who do we think should play Poison Ivy in a new Batman movie? Let us know in the chat who you think should play the next Poison Ivy. I thought Uma Thurman did a perfectly fine job, but what do I know? Moving on to round number 3, and it's called Zoom Zoom. If you couldn't tell, I named all of these categories. This is actually our first picture round, which I'm very excited about. Afterwards, let us know if you enjoyed the picture round. If you hate it, let us know, and we'll never do pictures again. Pictures are dead, but if you loved it, we'll probably bring it back. Also want to give a shout out to Roseanne Zamer with 15 points. Pretty good. 1 point shy of perfection, but hey, nobody's perfect. And I think you're great, Roseanne. Congratulations. This is our picture round. The object of this round is to identify the subject of the extremely zoomed in picture I will present to you. Okay? If I show you the corner of a movie poster, you need to tell me what movie it is. If it's the fur of an animal, tell me what animal it is. I'm also going to give you a very specific and maybe not entirely helpful clue for each one as well. This round will be especially easy if you were the type of kid who watched television by sitting on the floor 3 inches from the screen like a sociopath. Let's begin. Your first image that you have to identify is this. What are we looking at here? I don't know. There's like 3 colors. Here's your clue. The subject of this photo was at one time studied by the FOM Institute for Atomic and Molecular Physics, Amsterdam. Does that help you? Do you know your obscure European laboratories? If you do, this will be real easy. Type in your answers. What are we looking at here? Did you guess that you are looking at the girl with the pearl earring? Yeah, this is the famous painting you're looking at, right? You see it? We're looking sort of the top, the little forehead area with the headscarf. That's what it looks like. That's the painting we're looking at. Girl with the pearl earring. The painting was researched at that lab in order to analyze the materials that was used to make it. And through the research, it was actually discovered that there's a green curtain behind her that you can't see with your eyes anymore. And she actually has very fine eyelashes, which it kind of looks like she has no eyebrows and no eyelashes. Turns out you just can't see them because they're so like fine and have been, you know, the test of time has not been kind to that painting. Pretty cool. Here's your second picture. That. What the heck are we looking at here? You tell me. Here's your obscure clue. The subject of this photo, even if you can't afford to go see it in person, could probably be seen in your wallet. What? My wallet? Maybe. What are we looking at here? Type your answers in the chat. Did you know that right now you are looking at a picture of the Lincoln Memorial? Yeah, right? You're looking at like his right hand kind of hanging over there like that. That's what we're looking at. That is the Lincoln Memorial. Yeah. There's actually an urban legend, I just found this out, that there's the face of General Robert E. Lee carved onto the back of Lincoln's head, looking toward his former home, Arlington House, which is, you know, out the back of the Lincoln Memorial. Another urban legend is that Lincoln's hands are shown using the sign language to represent his initials, like an A and an L. The National Park Service denies both. Always trying to kill our fun. Picture number 3 is this thing. What are we looking at here? Here is your clue. The subject of this photo can only naturally be found in the United States and China. The only place you will naturally find this thing is in either of those 2 countries. What are we looking at? Did you know that is an alligator? That's right, just a regular old alligator. It's actually an American alligator. If anybody said Chinese alligator for some reason, trying to be very specific, I'll still give you a point, but you better watch yourself, because that's an American alligator right there. Yeah, it's an alligator. They can only be found in China and in the United States. If you said crocodile as well, that is 100% incorrect. Quick tip for telling the difference, you look at the shape of their snouts. If it's wide like a U, right, like the letter U, it's a gator. If it's thin and pointed like a V, it's a croc. There you go. Now, if you're ever in a life and death situation where the dangerous part of it is not the fact that there is an alligator or crocodile, but all you have to do is figure out which one it is, I just saved your life. You still probably have to run away from the alligator, so watch out for that. Number 4 is this. What are we looking at? Picture number 4, right there. Here is your clue. The subject of this photo was first observed in detail in 1610. Does anybody remember the 17th century? If anybody was, palling around, maybe taking a gap year, going through Europe or something, doing some studies. I don't know what I'm talking about. Did you know that what you are currently looking at is, final answers, type them in. That's a picture of Saturn. Yeah, and this is a real picture that NASA took. This is not like an artist rendering or like a computer model. This is Saturn. Okay, you're looking at Saturn's rings. If you said Saturn's rings, you can have a point. That's perfectly fine because you were technically looking at Saturn's rings. But we're looking at Saturn. Yeah, Galileo was the first person to observe Saturn's rings early in the 17th century. The rings are made up almost entirely of small pieces of ice, and contrary to popular belief, the rings aren't made up of like many tiny ringlets. It's actually just one huge ring with varying degrees of density and brightness. Fascinating. I always thought it was like 300 small rings. Turns out it's one fat one. Your final zoom picture of the night. I love the name of this. It reminds me of that one car commercial. By one, I mean the 3,000 that I saw as a kid. Okay, we're looking at this. What are we looking at here? Just a bunch of smudgy colors against the backdrop of blue. Here's your clue. The subject of this photo was almost named Under the Red, White, and Blue. What are we looking at here? Type your answers in, and we will conclude our picture round. Did you guess that this is a small piece of the cover of The Great Gatsby? One of the most iconic book covers of all time. Everybody probably remembers the eyes and the mouth hanging over the city, but do you remember the obscured lights in the bottom? If you did, congratulations. You might have just scored yourself a perfect score on our picture round. Fact about The Great Gatsby, F. Scott Fitzgerald was not thrilled about the title, The Great Gatsby. He wanted to try a few different titles, including Under the Red, White, and Blue. Publishers insisted on The Great Gatsby. But sadly, Great Gatsby was not very successful during Fitzgerald's lifetime, and he died thinking he was a failure. Bummer, dude. And you know what? I feel that. I've also had many projects not be respected during my lifetime. Like my John Wick fan fiction, where it's from the perspective of the dog. It's a short story. That is the end of our Zoom round, everybody. Those are all of your answers. How did everybody do? Okay. Ooh, Zeb Kello and Ann McHenry, big fans of the picture round. Thank you guys very much. Hey, if those two people liked it, we're going to do it until the end of time, just for those two fans. Very, very fun. Let us know if anybody else enjoyed it. Also, we don't need your opinions. We'll make our own decisions. But also, we'd love to hear from you. And if you have any suggestions for future round topics, let us know that as well. We're always looking for more weird stuff to research. Okay, tally up your scores, because we're about to head into our final round. Yeah, that's right, guys. It's almost over. I know. I'm sad about it too. The final round is the Hodgepodge round, or alternative title, the Hash round, which now that I think of it is kind of better, because it's a play on hash browns, but also like a hash is a thing made up of many different elements. Dang, missed opportunity. Anyway, this round, as the title suggests, is a hodgepodge of various questions about topics that may or may not be related. It's also another blitz round, so there will be 10 questions, rapid fire. Type your answers in as soon as I finish reading the question, because we're going to be moving fast, baby. Ready, set, hash browns. That's good. I'm going to keep saying that. That's going to be my new catchphrase for this show. Ready, set, hash browns. Lizzie, Henry, Harry, and Homer are the original names for which tabletop games characters? I'm looking for the name of the game. Okay? So Lizzie, Henry, Harry, and Homer are the original names for which tabletop games characters? Type your answers into the chat quick, because we're moving fast. It's a blitz. The answer is hungry hippos. Yeah, those are the original names of the Hungry Hungry Hippos. I don't know what Lizzie's doing in there. Totally ruined the alliteration, but it's all right. Also, did you know that in 2012, a film studio announced its plans to make a Hungry Hungry Hippos movie? Yeah. This is also, fair warning, the same company that was bought by MoviePass, rest in peace, and then made that horrible John Travolta Gotti movie last year or 2 years ago. So, if you're wondering if a Hungry Hungry Hippos movie is a good idea, this studio's track record implies it is not. Question number 2. Alex Lacamoire arranged music for Dear Evan Hansen in which other record-breaking musical? You tell me. Alex Lacamoire arranged the music for which other musical besides Dear Evan Hansen? That broke a lot of records. Your answer is Hamilton. Yeah, if we're talking about, modern musicals that did something well, it's Hamilton, right? It currently holds the most Tony nominations, the record for most Tony nominations for a single production with 16. The producers in 2001 and Billy Elliot in 2009 each have 15. But Hamilton, wow, nailed it. If somebody said In the Heights, I do technically believe that is correct. So if somebody typed in the Heights, you can have a point. And if you typed in Hamilton, you definitely get a point. If you typed in My Fair Lady, you get the heck out of here. Question number 3. During the proofing process, The Life and Times of Clara Levette was a code name given to which 2007 novel in order to avoid potential leaks? Okay. What was the name of the 2007 novel that was secretly, briefly titled The Life and Times of Clara Levette in order to throw leakers off the scent? Tell me the name of the book. Okay, type your answers in. The big clue for this one was 2007, Harry Potter in the Deathly Hallows. Yeah. J.K. Rowling had to call it many different things when submitting her drafts to her editor so that people didn't, leak it and everybody would find out what the heck happened to old Harry, Hermione, and Ron. An early draft was also called Edinburgh Potmakers, which did succeed in sounding boring enough that the leakers completely ignored it. Here we go for the next one. Oh, by the way, if anybody just typed in Harry Potter, I'm sorry. We can't accept it. We got to be specific. Harry Potter is not a book. Harry Potter is the name of a character from a series of books, and I'm looking for a specific one. Here's question number 4. Which standard unit of measurement is named after the first person to provide conclusive proof of the existence of electromagnetic waves? Which unit of measurement is named after the person to basically discover electromagnetic waves? Tell me the name of the measurement. Did you know that it's Hertz? Yeah, it's Heinrich Rudolf Hertz is the man who actually tragically died at a young age, but his family continued to be dope scientists. His daughter, Matilda, was a well-known biologist. His nephew won a Nobel Prize in 1925, and then the son of said nephew invented medical ultrasonography, which is an ultrasound. Amazing! Kind of a bunch of show-offs, though, right? It's like, can't you guys have like one stinker in the family? Let's move on. Question number 5. What word is used to indicate a seller of small sewing articles in the UK, a seller of men's clothing in the US, or formally, a seller of hats? Which one word means all of these things? You tell me. Type your answers in. Did you know that it was haberdasher? We'll also accept haberdashery. That refers to, the establishment that would be doing the haberdashering. Fun fact, Saint Louis IX of France is the patron saint of French haberdashers, which is not the coolest legacy, but gosh dang it, it's his legacy. And that means something. Question number 6. Which video game series has players assume the role of the crowbar-wielding Gordon Freeman? Tell me the name of the video game series. If you name one of the video games within the series, that counts as well. Give me the name of those video games for question number 6. The answer is Half-Life. Yep, Half-Life. Some of the most influential games of all time. Half-Life, Half-Life 2, they're just superstars in the world of video games. Half-Life 3, still being held hostage by Gabe Newell. And no, Half-Life Alex does not count, and I will not accept anybody who says the contrary. Question number 7. Which Greek deity is said to have forged Hermes' sandals and Poseidon's trident? What is the name of the Greek deity to have made both of those dope things? Hermes' sandals, making him zoom, zoom, zoom around, and Poseidon's trident, making him go, yeah, Poseidon. I have no excuse for what I just did. Okay, the name of that Greek god is Hephaestus. Yeah, if anybody knew this, good on you for knowing your Greek gods. This is actually my personal favorite Greek god. It has been since I did a project on him like 13 years ago. Hephaestus is the god of the forge. Okay, he's like worshipped by blacksmiths. He's also considered the only ugly Olympian, which I love, but it's so sad. Everybody else is like beautiful, shiny, chiseled out of stone, and he's just like known as like, oh, you're the ugly guy, right? Poor guy. Question number 8. The biggest and highest energy particle collider in the world is called the Large What Collider? What is the name of the biggest particle collider in the world? The Large What Collider. Looking for that middle word. Type it in. How well do you keep up with modern science news? The answer is the Large Hadron Collider. Yeah, it lies beneath the France-Switzerland border. Its purpose is to test predictions of different theories of particle physics, though some have feared that the LHC would potentially cause a black hole to open up and swallow the Earth. Hasn't happened yet, though it wouldn't be a surprise at this point in 2020. So, fingers crossed that we don't get sucked into a black hole, I guess. Question number 9, your penultimate question. Haiti and the Dominican Republic make up which Caribbean island? Looking for the island that makes up these two places. Type it in the chat before we head into our final question of the night. Okay? Did you know the name of this place? It's Hispaniola. Yeah, it was discovered and named by Christopher Columbus. And then 8 years later, Christopher Columbus was arrested there. Yeah, he was brought back to Spain in chains. Karma, right? Karma. Karma. What if I just spent the next 8 minutes saying karma and nodding really aggressively? Karma. Your final question of the night. Type it in and then start tallying up your scores, guys, because that's it. That's the end of the game after this. This is it, man. Question number 10. Footbag is the generic name for what Whammo product? Footbag is the generic name for what Whammo product? Type your answers in the chat, everybody. And then we are donezo. Did you know that a footbag is basically just the tissue of hacky sacks Kleenex? It's a hacky sack. Here's a fun fact for you. The last one and my favorite of the night, my favorite fun fact, the world record in open doubles consecutive, which basically is the hacky sack event where just like two people kick it back and forth and they try to keep it up as long as possible, is held by Trisha George and Gary Lout with 132,011 kicks in a row, which took them 20 hours, 36 minutes, and 17 seconds straight. Why? Also, incredible. I'm so impressed. But also, why? But also, wow. That concludes our Hodgepodge round. Yeah. Who knows so many things started with the letter H? If you didn't realize all the answers started with H, I don't know what to tell you. You should have picked up after the third question. That's going to conclude tonight's episode of Tough Trivia, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. How did everybody do? Tally up your score for round 4. Add them all together. When you have it, type it into the chat to get shouted out. Brag a little bit. We're all here to support each other and our accomplishments. And as you're doing some quick arithmetic, let me leave you guys with your final fun fact of the night. I'm sure everyone has heard of the murder hornets that have arrived in America. Well, did you know that Japanese bees have a method of murdering murder hornets? Yeah, they form a sort of bee ball around the hornet with dozens and dozens of bees pushing into the hornet from all angles and literally cook it to death through their body heat. It's so brutal. There are videos of it. Go look it up. But it's terrifying, but it's also very cool. All right, after that uplifting fact, that's basically that's gonna do with us. We got Barb Hakma with 29 points. Oh my goodness, that is very impressive. The maximum amount of points, I believe, was 31. That's very good. You were either a terrific trivia player or a terrific liar. And you know what? I'm gonna assume you're telling the truth. Barb, congratulations. And before we leave, guys, I just gotta ask you, can someone please name this duck? I've asked every time and nobody gives me a name. I'll take anything at this point. And I would name it, but I'm terrible at coming up with names. Watch, I'll try to come up with one. Hey, duck. Ah! Somebody name this duck. Please type the suggestions into the chat. I don't know why nobody's given me a name so far. I'm really upset about it. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for playing. Congratulations to everybody who did well or didn't do well. It doesn't matter. Now you know 31 cool new facts. How great is that? We're going to be back in 2 weeks on May 22nd, and we hope to see you then. Stay safe, stay curious, and stay bubbly.